I'm working on this GPT for Facebook ads that it's not just like an automated copywriter. It's much more doing strategy work versus just like kind of straight up copywriting. And the reason why that's important is because this Facebook Andromeda update, there's plenty, you can Google it, you can do your kind of own research on it. But essentially the core of it is kind of like with Google, where Facebook was like, there's too much content, there's too much advertising. We're kind of struggling with dealing with it. So they released this update and they've talked a lot about creative variance and creative volume, how that's important. But more specifically, as more and more advertisers spending a lot of money test this, and we understand what's happening, it's also about how you're managing the creative and the type of creative that we're feeding it. So for example, when I say creative volume and creative variance, creative volume to me means more, right? But usually what ends up happening with that, I heard that as, okay, like one would be a selfie video, one would be me in the studio, one would be an image, right? That's a variance of creative. It shows a different thing, but ultimately the messaging was the same in terms of the same basic pitch and call to action over and over again across all the creative. So the creative, we had the right volume, we had the right variance in terms of breaking the eye pattern. It's something I find is when I'm just in our studio setting, people get media blindness to it because you see it and you're like, I already saw this, so I'm going to keep scrolling, right? But when it's a selfie video or it's an image, it hits you and your brain stops and pays attention, right? So what we're seeing now though is that you also have to mix up the messaging of the creative. And this is so important. And the reason why that's important is because a lot of the times as marketers, you got to stop optimizing and living your life for the shortcomings versus the long-term stuff. You can apply that analogy to almost everything in life: business, health, fitness, relationships. A lot of the times it's human nature for us to optimize for the short term. We end up looking and optimizing based on the email opt-in, and the email opt-in doesn't matter, right? Not even the book call matters. It means it's signed clients are what actually matter. So if you're optimizing mentally and also literally physically for the wrong conversion, you're going to end up telling Facebook that it's the wrong thing. Well, now when we apply that to creative, and this is something that our media buyers do all the time. But what Facebook is saying is just because something isn't spending doesn't mean that it's not working. So we're going to serve this to people that are unaware, right? But Facebook knows. Facebook is that intelligent. So within one campaign, all your ads, Facebook will know which ad to send to it, and not taking the time to go through the 5 stages of awareness. It's from a book called Breakthrough Advertising, written in the 1930s. It's about doing the fundamentals right. Whenever we get off and something's not working, it's usually because we're optimizing against the wrong outcome, and it kind of crashes everything, right? And it erodes what you're trying to do in terms of the marketing messaging. I'm building this GPT here, and this is what's so good about this GPT. All I need to do is give you the website, because you can find the business name, you can find the practice areas, you can find what they care about, right? And I want to focus on car accidents, right? So I will tell it the practice area that I want to focus on, because they have multiple practice areas, but you can see it will scrape and it will tell us what we're doing. But specifically now give me the 5 stages mapped to car accidents for this client, right? So the reason why this is important, right? Especially in something like car accidents, we have traditionally only gone after bottom funnel people that are in market. That means we were getting a ton of different creative, but it was all like bottom funnel, trying to find people that are in market. Now, Facebook can do that. Don't get me wrong. It can do that. But the problem that we were having is we're getting a lot of leads, but we're not getting a lot of signed cases, or they're getting signed cases and they're dropping because they sign them. And then when they start processing them, they're like, you can't work with us if you're signed with our law firm. So that's because they're getting all the same audiences getting ads over and over and over again from all these different people, and they're signing up with multiple people. And this is where money is always made in the unaware stage. I have always known this from our point of view, but it's not just the fact that we run Facebook ads, it's that we know how to nurture you along through the process by not just saying, hey, buy this training. It's by continuously pumping value adding content in front of you that's teaching, that's educating, that's relating, right, over a very long period of time. The point is that this GPT now is allowing us to map out ads at all stages of the funnel. So instead of us just writing 10 ads that were like, oh, we know these are going to convert because they've converted in the past, now it's saying, okay, if we need to understand what the 5 stages of awareness are when it comes to this specific practice area, right? When you start getting in deeper into the funnel, that's where this comes in. So if you think about the messaging in the creative that you want to run at this, it's very different at the bottom of the funnel, right? You know, like, I just got hit, I'm in pain, I don't know what happens next. Like, they're not even thinking, they don't even know that this is an option. So we just want to we want to create some ads to put into the same campaign that basically tell them like, hey, if you're in a car accident, like, you have rights. You could be entitled to compensation. Like, you could be able to check, right? Like, you don't have to go through this alone. So then when we move down to the problem stage, right? So it's people that are aware of the problem but don't know of solutions quite yet. So I'm hurt, like I'm talking to insurance, they're not giving me what I need. So again, now we have two stages of the funnel built. Solution aware, so they know that they need a lawyer, but they don't know which one. So you can see as we're gradually just going down the stages of awareness here, and then you get to product service aware, which lawyer is best for me and why, and then all the way down most aware, I'm ready, I just need to call the law firm now. So basically what Facebook is saying is they're saying create all of these ads, all this different messaging, put them in the same campaign, and let us decide who to run these to. Same call to action, they're all conversion-based ads, but let us take this and sequence the ads. This is the core, what I want you all to learn from this program, which is fundamentals, blocking and tackling. When things go crazy in the world and with algorithms and with platforms, it comes back to the fundamentals because ultimately we're selling to humans. No matter what happens with AI, you will always be selling to humans, and humans are extremely predictable. We are programmed and wired a certain way. That is not to be used to take advantage. That is not to be used to lie, to cheat, to scam, but it's to be used to your advantage so you can message your marketing the right way. And again, this is the type of information that I love talking about. SEO is great, GEO is great, content automation is great. But ultimately, what I provide the best to you all is the fundamentals of marketing, because I don't think enough people talk about it, because I don't think enough people understand it, because I think most people are teaching based on shortcuts, based on hacks, right? What's really going to make you money is having a good foundation of excellent knowledge and excellent strategies and tactics, because at the end of the day, this is what it's always going to come back to. Hey, Ryan here. Hope you liked that video. If you want more, check out these two videos right here on the screen.